Okay, so I'm back with another movie review. I don't do too many of these, but I thought I'd do one for this movie because I saw it and I had some thoughts I wanted to share. It's actually going to be a double review because I saw a different film that was very similar to this one by the same director that also wanted to talk about. Um, so the two movies I will be reviewing, spoiler review. You can check out my quick short I did, which was a non-spoiler review if you haven't seen the movie yet. Right, or if you don't care, or if you already seen the movie, this is a spoiler review for Disclosure Day. I'm gonna give my quick thoughts beforehand on Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That won't have too many spoilers in it because that's gonna be more quick, and I'll go a bit more in depth on my thoughts on Disclosure Day. Um, when talking about Close Encounters of the Third Kind, I thought that one was okay. A little disappointed in that one, right? Because I know it's Steven Spielberg and people love Steven Spielberg. It's highly regarded film, so I was a little disappointed in that aspect. Um, I know it was kind of big for its time because it was probably kind of groundbreaking for what it did. But even films like Terminator, which I know was groundbreaking at the time, I could still really enjoy. This one, not so much. I kind of wish they dwelled into the plot a bit more than they actually did because the movie kind of flies by. The whole point of the story was these aliens supposedly emerge on Earth, and some people know about it, some people don't. This main guy's trying to uncover the truth and kind of uncover the secrets. So I kind of wish that happened over a longer period of time than when it actually did. Because the movie, the way it happened is like he learns about aliens, he does some digging, he figures out where it's happening, and then he goes off with the aliens, and it's like, okay, wow. And there was a side plot, it's quite a subplot going on in the movie too, which I was kind of hoping they dwelled into more, but this movie does kind of just fly by. So it was not bad, it was just okay. I felt it could have handled the story that they were trying to tell a bit better, but there were definitely some cool shots, some cool visuals. Steven Spielberg did a good job with that, and some of his directing was very nice. Right when they actually revealed the aliens for the first time, I was like, "Oh snap! It's the aliens. That's cool." I thought that looked nice. I thought all the cast members did their job good enough, did it well enough. I just was hoping for a bit more from the actual story. Right now, going into Disclosure, right? Because that was only my frame of reference for Disclosure Day. I went in with zero expectations, neither high, low, or in the middle. Just zero expectations going into this movie, and I was hoping that it could have been better after I left. I was, because there was a lot of stuff that didn't quite work for me. Right? They kind of just throw you in the middle of the movie and just let things happen without like little to no explanation for it. Right? Because they literally have this device, this machine that you hold in your hand. And I'm like, okay. Because they had it in the beginning of the movie where he's like, don't make me drop it, don't let me grip it too hard. Pause. But then as the movie progressed, it kind of seemed like whenever they needed something, whenever they needed to get out of a situation or they needed something to happen, oh, they got this magical device that pretty much just did anything and whatever. And I was like, okay. Now, whenever we need something done, whenever we need to get out of a situation, at least we have the magic device that does whatever. It's like, you just have this device that does whatever, no explanation for it. We just have these characters who are tied to these aliens who have magic powers. Emily Blunt character, we just see her, then she's acting all crazy, and turns out she has like these superpowers. It's like she's tethered to other people who are also tethered to like aliens. And the whole point of this movie was revealing the truth about aliens. There's this, what's it called? There's these secrets being kept about a higher life form and it being aliens, and them trying to uncover the truth about that. That's for the most part what the movie was, which I think worked. They did that well enough. The villain was kind of against that because it felt like chaos would emerge if those secrets were revealed, I was kind of hope. I wish they would have dwelt more into that a bit more, the kind of differences among that, which they did actually do with his Josh O'Connor. I don't remember the characters' names in the movie, but Josh O'Connor, Hugo was Coleman Domingo's character. I do remember that. But Josh O'Connor's character, yeah, his girlfriend was kind of against the idea of that because she felt it was, yeah, the same thing kind of with the villain. It wasn't meant to be put out there. They tackled a bit of religion in here and higher powers with the aliens, and then as that relates to kind of like God, which I thought was cool. Some of his, like I said, in my non-spoiler review, the direction was cool. There were some cool shots. I liked how the aliens looked. Well, the aliens looked nice. There was some weird CGI animals, specifically the fox. It wasn't necessarily bad, but it was still clearly fake compared to the other animals because all the deers look fine, but the fox, I remember seeing the fox and I was like, whoa, okay, that's clearly a CGI fox, which obviously, but like, I don't know, looked a little off the fox. But a little nitpicky here, but something that that kind of I had a problem with was the security guards, especially how competent they were throughout the film. When Josh O'Connor's character was running through that field and like making so much noise, he was running through the field of leaves, making so much noise, and not a single guard heard him. And then it got even crazier when he walked directly behind them and hopped into one of their vehicles. I was like, can no one see this man or hear him? He's literally mad loud. Not a single one of them heard him. And then it got even worse when they were having the chase sequence, the car chase sequence, and this girl hopped out the car, and the car went flying off the cliff. I thought that was okay, fine. And now they're gonna run into the distance, and make a run for it. They go to the nearest rock and kind of just casually sit there behind it, as the guards are literally right down the other side of the rock. Don't notice them at all. I was like, oh my god. And like some of the other stuff was perfectly fine to me. When they jumped onto the train, when the two trains were about to collide next to each other, and they had to jump from the car onto the train, perfectly fine. I was like, you know what, that works for me. It's perfectly fine. When they all turned invisible, including the house and the car and the fire truck, I thought that sequence was actually pretty cool. I was perfectly fine with that, even though that was another way they kind of just, oh, this magical artifact does what we want to move forward. So it was like a cool sequence, but I didn't like how once again you kind of just have the answer to everything is right here in our hand, this device. But I thought that sequence was cool. I was fine with that. But you're telling me you don't hear them rustling through the leaves? You don't see them directly behind the rock? And then what made me even more kind of annoyed about those scenes is when we get towards the end of the movie and we see them doing parkour tricks. Literally, I'm like, okay, they're trying to get into the building to shut down the power. And then they're doing certain flips and acrobatics like Spider-Man. I'm like, where was this the entire film? Now all of a sudden you're pulling out tricks that were supposedly there the whole time, right? Some of the shooting, they weren't shooting at first, and then all of a sudden now they can shoot. I was like, the security guards were kind of getting me annoyed throughout the film. But all the cast did a solid job. I think the standouts were Emily Blunt and Coleman Domingo. I think both of them do really good jobs. On the low, I think Wyatt Russell did a good job. He was kind of like leading a lot of the comedy in the movie, which I think there were a lot of like funny jokes, but I do think in terms of the ending, the ending was alright. I know there's been some discourse online about the ending. Maybe if they would have let the movie go on for a bit longer, just to see a bit more of what the reaction is to aliens are real. We kind of got to see a quick reaction to everyone's thoughts on it, but maybe we would have let that play out a bit more. Kind of just like an abrupt ending. But it kind of just abrupt ending. I think the villain is fine. He does a good enough. He does a good enough job. It's just like a fine villain, not anything particularly special. And her powers were kind of weird. In the movie, Emily Blunt's power, where she can like make you see her as someone else, something you deeply care about, which for the most part was fine, but there were kind of some scenes where it kind of felt like it didn't quite make sense. Like, okay, it's working on this person, but it's not working on this person yet. This is still happening and whatnot. So that was kind of like, but kind of like, but yeah. So overall, the film was like, it was okay. It was like okay. Maybe they would have let certain things play out, explain some things a bit more, make the ending play out a bit more. I think I would have liked it better, because I do think the best portion of the movie was probably when they were delving into Josh O'Connor and Emily Blunt's backstory to them when they were younger, and we got some more insight on that. The one thing that they actually gave some explanation for, probably the best part of the movie. Funny enough, but like even the mind control technology, because they had technology that allowed him to mind control, and it's like, oh, okay, sure, which that one's not too bad as opposed to the crystal, whatever that thing was. But like, so overall, fine, solid film. I give it like a 7.5 out of 10, which for me, that's just okay. You were okay.